Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Hilaal Live. Thanks for watching us on channel 347 on DSTV. It's Thursday once again and our firm favorite back in, online via Zoom is Conversations with Insight with Sister Shaamiela Safodien. Assalamu alaikum Shaamiela and welcome back.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you.
Shukran so much once again. Now, from part one of our conversation, Shaamiela, last week on defining healing, you highlighted that healing is not a linear process, rather a circular and vertical process, which occurs from the inside out. And then you also mentioned some of the myths around healing. Can we maybe pick up on that conversation? And from the last myth that you mentioned, and you also mentioned something very interesting, that there are no hacks or shortcuts to our healing. That was very interesting for me. Maybe if we can begin today's session with recapping that.
Yeah, I think that anytime that you hear a hack for healing or a shortcut, I think you got to be concerned. I think from our conversation last week, we cleared that it's a much deeper process other than just a surface sort of issue.
All right, it looks like we're having a little bit of a technical issue. We're going to try and I think the signal on her Zoom link seems to be a little bad. We're going to try and re-establish that link. But thanks for watching us. Early on, we chatted to Brother Ishmael, our IT guru, who gave us fabulous advice regarding IT, the type of computer, software to pick. Tomorrow, it's Friday. It's What's On with Fahim Stellenboom. We've got a lovely surprise for you. There's a magazine that was launched during lockdown that's created quite a bit of hype, and it's local recipes. Okay, I think we've got Sister Shaamiela back. Shaamiela, can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
Apologies. I lost connection there.
No worries, no worries. Okay, you were saying about, just the myth that there are no life hacks.
Yeah, no, there aren't any life hacks. I think particularly for healing. And for the most part, when we think about healing, healing happens really at the deepest level at the nervous system. There isn't any way to hack your nervous system. It's a process of going deeply inside and dealing with whatever it is that you haven't looked at more deeply up until that point. Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting because, we all need to come to terms with what we're going through in terms to move forward as well. How would you then describe what is happening in our healing process? What happens for us? How do we internalize all of this?
I think that's the most important part, is that whatever's happening inside of you is happening for you. It's not against you, although it really doesn't feel positive sometimes. It's really for you. But the most important thing and fundamentally what is happening with healing is that we are integrating. We're in this process where we are integrating all of the experiences we've had before. So for example, we've all, done a puzzle where we've created this puzzle, and sometimes you do a puzzle and there are pieces missing from that puzzle. And so the picture of the puzzle doesn't look complete. And so when you think about your experience and the self as that puzzle, those pieces that are missing are the parts of us that are, let's say, exiled, and that have been split off from the self. And those are the parts that's laying in the unconscious. And so throughout our lives, essentially what's happening is we're having all these experiences that is trying to push all of these sort of like unnoticed parts of ourselves to the surface in order for us to integrate all of those memories, experiences, emotions, whatever they are, and really just to create a more whole human being and a more holistic experience. And so sometimes integration can come through in like our aha moments. When you're having a conversation with someone, or let's say you're seeing a therapist and something they say really deeply resonates with you. You can feel it's beyond just something happening in your mind. There's sort of a resonance in your body. So those are also forms of integration that's happening. But mostly what I would like to say about integration is that in order for us to really move towards more integration and more of a, let's say, a holistic self, an integrated self, we really got to make the process of integration conscious. So we've got to engage in practices, whatever that is for us. Sometimes it's therapy, sometimes it's creativity, nature, whatever that is for you. It has to be an intentional and a conscious process.
Okay, very interesting. Thanks so much for sharing that insight with us. Shaamiela, can you maybe share, after giving us that valuable advice, can you maybe share some guidelines for myself and our viewers that are interested in exploring the healing process?
Absolutely. So what I would like all our viewers and you and everybody else to remember is that the healing process and integration process is not confined to any practitioner's office.
Okay.
I know that that's generally how we think about it. We've got to go see someone and then, for healing to occur. But healing can happen. It's available to you at any time. I mean, you could revive your creativity and find, healing in that. You can go out in nature. You can begin exercising and getting more physical. Even our spiritual practices and our relationships can offer us a form of healing. And so it's not confined necessarily to a modality or therapeutic process.
Okay.
So that's a way to start. And then the other thing is just any practice that connects the mind and the body, right? Again, there's this idea that the integration happens not in the mind, but in the body. So anything that connects that can really help us to heal, essentially.
Okay, valuable advice. Now, as we do every week, you are always equipped with a wonderful quote that you unpack for us. What's this week's quote?
Well, our quote this week is by Carl Jung, and he says that until we make the unconscious conscious, it will lead our life and we will call it fate. So essentially those parts that I spoke about earlier on that's sort of laying in the shadow and in the unconscious is the parts that often make decisions for us. Okay. And so often what we can find ourselves doing is kind of making decisions and leading our life from a very, very wounded part, a part of us we didn't acknowledge. And in order for us to healing to really kind of be the leader in our lives, we've got to make everything that's laying in that space conscious. And so it's really just about inviting that information in. And the way that we can do that, one very simple practice to do that is to just be present with whatever's going on, in your life and in your body, and just notice what's going on without any judgment. Just notice and observe. And sort of, again, ask those questions, those self-aware questions around what's happening, why is this coming up, that type of thing. Yeah.
Nice. Valuable advice on a Thursday to take into the weekend as well. I think it's always great to just take stock of where you are in life, in business, and also it's one of those opportunities. We had Ishmael in earlier. He was talking about spring cleaning, and as the changes in seasons come, the changes in year, our fiscal year, our financial year, and just in general with our families as well. So it's always nice to take stock, and that's valuable advice on how to do that.
Absolutely. I think it's just. I think all parts of us need to be kind of looked at, acknowledged, right? Again, we are whole self, mind, body, spirit, and we've got to acknowledge all those parts of ourselves.
Great. Sister Shaamiela, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. Thank you so much for affording us your time. We hope to link up with you next Thursday, inshallah. Have a wonderful evening and a great weekend ahead, inshallah.
Thanks, you too. Take care.
My pleasure. All the best. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
And that's how we end our session, Conversations with Insight with Sister Shaamiela. She's back next Thursday, inshallah, to educate us on all things related to ourselves and our family as well. Do join us tomorrow. It's What's On with Fahim Stellenboom in studio. And then also Asghab Job, who's our personal fitness trainer, will be back to encourage us to just live a little healthier, get off the chair, the sofa, and maybe get out there if we can. I know it's going to storm in Cape Town this weekend. We wish that you all be safe on your journey. And after the break, after we finish here, we cross live to the Muharram program in Durban, so do look out for that. From all of us here at the Cape Town studio, Suhail Barnes and myself, Luqman Shadrack, have a lovely evening. Assalamu alaikum.